Good evening and welcome to the September 22nd meeting of the Norfolk Select Board. Would you begin by joining us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And as always, we're starting our meeting with public comment this evening. It's an opportunity for citizens to express their views that relate to Norfolk, up to 3 minutes. There's nobody here in person, so if there's anybody on Zoom who's interested, it looks like not. Nope, you don't see anybody, Amanda? All right, so we'll go to number 2. Would you set us off, Mr. Gallagher?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have individual to be appointed to the Cultural Council, Justin Huff. I believe the Cultural Council met and spoke about having Justin appointed, and they recommend that appointment.
Cool. Any questions? No. Any questions, Kevin?
Nope.
And I don't see him here to talk to us, so I don't have any questions either, so I would accept a motion to approve the appointment of Justin Huff to the Norfolk Cultural Council with a term expiration date of June 30, 2028.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed, nay. There we go. Thank you, and welcome, Justin, to our Norfolk Cultural Council. We're grateful for your willingness to do work for our community. Thank you. Number 3.
Madam Chair, at one of your prior meetings, you voted to have a screening committee as part of the process to hire your next town administrator. You, at that meeting, decided a 5-member committee would be appropriate. You had 6 applicants for the 5 seats on that committee. In speaking with the folks from, MRI. They had we had a conversation about whether or not 6 or 5 or, and it's really up to the, to the select board to determine that. 5 members, 6 members, to exclude one person at this stage, might be be a little odd or a little difficult to go through all of that. So if you wish, you can certainly appoint all 6 folks that applied. There were some exceptional folks that have expressed interest in being part of that process. And as such, you might want to just bend your own rule a little bit
And go with 6.
Yeah,
So
I also, another option would be 5 and then an alternate, but
I also called MRI because I felt the same way. We have 6 qualified people who are eager to serve their community, and I was uncomfortable with
Rejecting one of them.
rejecting one of them. If we had 12, we could reduce it to 5, but when we have 6, it seemed, so I called MRI also, like Mr. Gallagher, and had the similar advice, so if we have any feelings about that.
No, I was going to have to make a tough decision between, there were 2 that I was kind of on the fence. Both of them were great. One of them just put a little bit more information about why they wanted to do it, but from a resume perspective, everyone that applied I thought was great. We have people with HR experience, we have people that work in IP and contracting, people that have previously served on committees in town, so I think it's a good mix of people. We have some moms who also help volunteer with other local organizations here, so I think they're all great. I'm on board with.
It's not like they're going to have to vote, and you need an odd number for a tiebreaker.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they might, because they'll have to narrow it down to 3 candidates for us, so there might be a tiebreaker, but I'm confident in this group that they can
They can.
sort that out.
It out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're in agreement. So I would accept a motion to appoint, I need to put on my glasses, Kristen Balish, Edward Haddad, Michael Byrne, Paul Denver, Mark Williamson, and Michelle St. Laurent to the Town Administrator Screening Committee with a term expiration upon the swearing-in of the new town administrator.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Are we okay?
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay,
I think that's a wise choice.
to read the names.
No, to actually.
To have six.
To have six
Yes, because
members,
we
I
have
think.
6 great people, so,
You really do.
excellent. Number 4.
Madam Chair, this item is to approve the use of Town Hill for a bench dedication in remembrance of Scott Dietrich by the Norfolk Lions, and that's going to take place on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, from 2 to 3 p.m. And I would recommend it.
Thank you.
Do I need to abstain because I'm a Lions member or the vote? Or-
There's no real
Yeah.
financial
Okay,
piece to that, so
Excellent.
I think you're fine.
okay.
That's a good question.
I'll make the motion, though, just in case. So I'll make the motion to approve the use of Town Hill for a bench dedication in remembrance of Scott Dietrich?
Dietrich.
By the Norfolk Lions on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, from 2 to 3 p.m.
Second.
Contingent on the receipt of proper documentation, including a certificate of insurance as a friendly amendment.
Thank you.
All those, any further discussion?
Yep.
The only thing I would say is Scott was a really important member to our community, so I'm super grateful to the Lions for honoring him in this way, and thank you very much. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Excellent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item on your agenda is an approval of the use of Town Hill for the Girl Scouts pumpkin decorating event, which is to be held Friday, October 17th, 2025, from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And again, I would recommend it.
Excellent. Is there any concern from public safety?
No, I think we got everything back from everyone that they were okay with what's going on here, so.
Excellent. Any questions? Any questions? So I would accept a motion that we approve the use of Town Hill for the Girl Scouts pumpkin decorating event on Friday, October 17th, 2025, from 4:30 to 6:30, contingent upon the receipt of proper documentation, including a certificate of insurance.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Number 6.
Number 6 is, the next item is vote to approve, again, the use of Town Hill for the Garden Club of Norfolk's annual plant and bake sale that's to be held Saturday, May 16th, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And the actual event is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So they'll be setting up a couple of hours beforehand, and then they need some time afterward to break everything down. And again, I would recommend it.
Excellent. Any questions?
No, looking forward to it.
Me too. My yard is full of the products of these annual plant sales, so my wild ginger in particular is doing very nicely. So I would accept a motion that we vote to approve the use of Town Hill for the Garden Club of Norfolk's annual plant and bake sale on Saturday, May 16th, from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., with the event happening from 9 to 1 o'clock p.m., contingent upon the receipt of proper documentation from a certificate of insurance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Number 7.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This one's a little bit different. The town has some holes in its staffing at the moment. We are without a DPW director that we'll talk about a little bit later. We are without a HR director and assistant town administrator. And we're in a position where there's a lot of hats being worn, for me personally, at 20 hours a week. But also, there's holes in the town that need to be filled. That being said, I have access to people that can assist us with all of that. The problem that I have is
Oh, excuse me. I'm going to turn that off, sorry.
as I was saying, the problem I have with that is that I can't access those people because of my relationship with the company that would be able to supply us with staffing and assist us in some of those holes, filling some of those holes. So I spoke with town council, and Mr. Harrington recommended that I do a disclosure, the 268A disclosure to the board, do it in a public session like this, whereby I would disclose my relationship with Capital Strategic Solutions, is the company that I would be recommending that we contract with, at least for the DPW director, to get somebody in here on an interim basis, on strictly an interim basis, while we look to fill that void. But in order to do that, I needed to come forward with all of this. So I filled out the proper paperwork. I ran it by counsel. He was fine with what I had in here. I've disclosed that I am a employee of Capital Strategic Solutions, but that I do not have any financial interest in the company. I'm not a partner. I don't get a bonus for any of this. I get paid by the hour like everybody else that works for the company, and only when I work for them. And I haven't been since I've been here. I actually put all of that aside so that I could concentrate on what I'm doing here for the town of Norfolk. In fact, I stepped away from a couple of projects that we were working on at the time. So I've disclosed all of that to you. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I pretty well laid it out in the form. This would, if you approve this, this would then be signed by the board or by the chair if you designate the chair to sign this on behalf of the board. And then I would file this also with the town clerk's office so that it's a public record.
Any questions?
No, this is just for the DPW director?
This is for, this disclosure is that all I'm saying with this disclosure is I'm an employee of Capital Strategic
Right.
Solutions. I'm going to be bringing forward in the next item on the agenda, if you approve this, a recommendation to contract with CSS to bring in an interim person to help us with DPW, and that's it at this point in time. I'm going to try to muddle my way through the rest of this, but I think that's an important department to have unsupervised.
Yes.
Todd Erickson has agreed to step up and help out, and he has done a fine job during the last week or so. But long-term, we need to get somebody in there permanently, but in the meantime, I think that having a
Experience.
seasoned person in that seat makes sense. Particularly, again, it's one of your top three departments on the general government side. Police, fire, and DPW are your three big departments. And we're coming into winter season, which is going to require some things.
Yep.
And make sure that we have those in place. So that's what this is for. But beyond this, I could then at least have access to anything else we may need as a community as we go forward. I don't know what else is going to happen. Who knows? So I'm just kind of,
I know.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Do you have any questions? I don't either, and so I'm just going to say it again in my own words so that I can reiterate what you've said, is that because you're an employee of this other organization, we're just making sure we're being transparent about the fact that you're an employee from them, that you're going to receive no financial benefit from using that organization to fill some holes as we see fit as a board. So this doesn't actually appoint any person, it just declares publicly that you are an employee and that you're not going to have any financial gain. Did I say that correctly?
that is correct.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So as long as everybody's okay, I'm going to accept a motion that we vote to approve, we vote to determine that the financial interest is not substantial as to be deemed likely to affect the integrity of the services which the municipality may expect from the employee Michael H. Gallagher. Did I say that correctly?
And if you all want to sign it, you're all welcome to sign it, or you can designate the chair to sign it on behalf of the board. And you can make that
So
as part
moved.
of the motion.
You said so moved.
Second.
And so first, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then do you want to designate me as the,
Signatory.
is that okay with you, or do you want to? So I would accept a motion to give Anita Mecklenburg permission to sign that statement. Is that
On
fine?
behalf of the board.
On behalf of the board.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Number 8.
So number 8, as I mentioned, we are without a DPW director. Blair Crane resigned last week, effective the date that I received his email, his resignation. So we are without leadership in the DPW. And as I mentioned, Todd Erickson has agreed to step up. He's the number 2 person over there. He's also the only other non-union employee in the building. So as such, I have been leveraging Todd to kind of keep the wheels turning, at least for the last almost week. It's been almost a week. But I felt that we needed something else, so I reached out to some folks I know and tried to kind of poke around to see who was around. Capital Strategic Solutions is a company that provides bench strength for municipalities in positions like us that are in a situation where you need somebody for a short term, come in here, help us out, get us through this window of time where we can get something out there and advertise. We've already advertised for a replacement. I believe that went up today, so that we can get something ongoing. I think we will put it on our website, and I spoke with Judith earlier. We're going to put it up on the MMA website as well, so we can get as broad a reach as we can to bring somebody in here on a permanent basis. But CSS recommended John DeLuca to come in. He's a senior project manager for CSS. He has extensive experience in public works. He worked for the city of Boston, for the city of Somerville, and he's done a couple of projects for CSS in various communities, the last one I think being Holbrook. So, and Plainville. He's also been he's assisted in Plainville as well. So John's got a tremendous amount of experience. He's got a lot of knowledge. I happen to know John personally, and I think he'll be a good fit for us. And right now I'm looking at 15 hours a week based on the rate that we have. That's about what we can afford, and we have a cap of not to exceed on this. I'm hoping that we don't get close to that, but if we do, it's there, and we can move some funds around to actually fill that, because we're not going to be paying a full-time administrator. So I looked at that rate that we're paying our full-time administrator versus the rate we're going to be paying CSS for this.
And 15 hours a week works.
And
the
15
same.
hours
Yeah.
a week works. It works out about the same amount of money. So that's where we're at.
Okay, any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, just a comment that he has a impressive resume, and I like the fact that he also provided support to Plainville, which is a neighboring town, so he knows this area. So yeah, no questions, just hopefully he's ready to come in here and hit the ground running.
John is ready to step in tomorrow.
Okay.
He's also has experience with water and sewer, so there's a lot of, his credentials are impeccable, and I think we'll benefit from John's expertise.
Excellent. And my only comment would be I'm grateful that we have those connections so we can fill this so quickly on an interim basis. So I'm grateful for that. So I would accept a motion that we approve the contract between Town and Capital Strategic Solutions for an interim DPW director not to exceed $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Excellent. Number 9.
Number 9, Madam Chair, you have so the board, the select board under section 55 of chapter 44, under title 7 of the administration of government for the Commonwealth, the board appoints a board of trustees for fair housing. And that Board of Trustees is tasked with doing certain things on behalf of the town. But this is a select board appointment. That whole board is appointed by the select board, actually. And right now you have a vacancy that was the result of your former town administrator resigning and moving on. So based on all that, and after reading the chapter
Can I
and
ask a clarifying
requirements-
question
certainly.
about that? So the former town administrator was serving on the board?
Former town administrator was serving on the board on behalf of the select board. Yes,
Okay,
so
so
select board under this, under section B of section 55C, can appoint, and it says shall appoint, which is kind of interesting. The wording is, I find the wording interesting, but shall appoint a member of a multi-member body, i.e. the select board, appoint a member, minimum of one member from this board to serve on that particular, it's really more of a subcommittee to you folks. You also have the option of appointing your town administrator to that position. And up to and including appointing the town administrator as the chair of that particular committee.
I did go to one meeting, and I wouldn't have a problem if you guys appointed me to be on that committee, because it does need one member of the select board.
I have some reservations about making a decision right now without a formal, without a permanent town administrator on board. Also because the former appointee was a town administrator. I think from my perspective, in order to stay neutral as a body, that my recommendation would be that the person appointed should be the town administrator. And the reason I'm saying that is because, as you all know, we have received several complaints over the past couple of months with regards to conflicts of interest, transparency, and oversight. And I think by, taking a political appointee out of that, not cycling in and out with election cycles, and having your permanent town administrator on the board takes out all of that political ambiguity and potential for conflicts of interest. So that's my perspective on that. Just in general, though, I think there's so much in flux right now in town hall that we really should consult with or at least have a conversation with our next town administrator about the way forward. So I would, if it's possible, want to table this for now.
I guess, well, I want to hear from, you said you've gone to some meetings and you're interested.
Yes.
I think Thais makes a good point about not having it be any of us in there. I think that my inclination in going through the packet and in doing the background work on it, it seemed to make sense to do what we had done in the past. And so keep with the trajectory. We had it was the town administrator before, and to keep that trajectory going made sense to me. It would obviously be a temporary appointment because we have a temporary town administrator.
Well, we could just wait till we get the full-time administrator, because technically, we haven't had one for a couple of months now anyhow.
And just wait, do you have feelings about that?
Madam Chair, through you certainly have that option, and it's not hurting anything at this point in time. I don't know how many, if they're having any issues with tie votes or any of that, but if they're functioning well under the current situation, I think that's fine. I just, I think it's important that the board realize that they control all of that through the law, that you actually, control what happens within that particular environment.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the same case that I made when we had the discussion about the interim town administrator. I feel strongly that it should not be a political appointment. And just given the email traffic that we have seen with regards to complaints, I'm not comfortable. I would be more comfortable if it was a non-political appointee in that role.
And I agree with that. I guess the place where I am not ambivalent, but where I am conflicted maybe is whether we should appoint Mike to the board or whether we should just wait. It is a high-functioning board. They're doing good work for the town, and maybe we should just wait until we have we can put it on the agenda for December, when we hopefully have a town administrator.
I personally think if we're not going to appoint one of the Board of Selectmen, that we should just wait till we get the full-time town administrator, if you want to wait to appoint the town administrator.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. if
He's
everyone's okay
got
with it.
enough things on his plate that he
Yeah.
doesn't need to add one more.
And it is, the board is doing good work for us, so I appreciate you bringing it to the table. I
Well, I
think
felt
that
it was important to at least have the
critical.
discussion.
And so we'll have to make a note to make sure that it's on one of our very first agendas when we have the new town administrator in place to make sure that that position is filled. I appreciate very much you bringing that to our attention.
Oh, good.
So we don't need a motion then, because we aren't taking any action, is that correct?
No, and it was really just a discussion item. There was no vote.
Excellent. All right. So that is number 9. And then number 10,
So, Madam Chair, we are in receipt of a $100 gift card from Roach Brothers as a donation to be used for the Citizens Academy that starts this Thursday.
nice.
One of these days, I'll sit down and do my slides for Thursday. But I thought that was a wonderful donation from them, and we can use that certainly to get, snacks and drinks and something for the folks that are going to be here and participating in that academy. So,
Excellent.
I, just so the board knows, I have applied for donations from all of the food chains so that we can provide a light snack at all of the Citizens Academies for our people who are giving so much of their time. And I just want to, it's always easier to learn on a full stomach. So I have applied for other grants, so hopefully there will be more coming in. But thank you, Roach Brothers, yay, for being the first one in and for your generous donation of $100. So I would accept a motion to accept a $100 gift card donation from Roach Brothers to be used for food for the Norfolk Citizens Academy.
So moved.
Second.
Excellent. And updates.
need a vote.
We need a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. And then updates.
So, Madam Chair, I just wanted to bring you up to date. Back when I first started here, there was a lot of discussion about Communications Committee. I've had conversations with all of you about all of that, and in particular with Thais about, because it was her baby, and I just wanted to make sure that we're doing this correctly. One of the things that I was thinking about was instead of having it as a subcommittee to the board, that it be more of a advisory committee or advisory group to me as the town administrator, and then help guide the town through my office to get the information out in multiple means to the folks within the town. It also gives us the opportunity to kind of handpick the people to be involved in all of that, and look for the people that have those communication skills that would be beneficial, that would help out. I will also tell you that I've been working with the folks that provide our website, because one of the things I was concerned about was us having to post things in multiple places, but that's another piece of this. But I thought it was a wonderful idea. Have we started? I don't know if we've posted anything yet to actually recruit folks for that, but I would also be interested in input from the three of you on people that you may think are in the community that have that knowledge and experience that we can reach out to and ask if they would be happy to participate in this with us. But I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for us to craft a means and method for getting to as many people as we can across the spectrum. I would be looking for someone certainly from the senior center that can help us do what's going on there. Maybe someone who's in the publishing business. I worked for the Boston Globe for years. I've got enough knowledge to be dangerous. So it's always good to get a lot of other people's
The only
input.
issue I have with that, I think you'd probably do a great job, but you're gonna be here for such a short time. But who's to say the next town administrator has as much interest to keep moving forward with it?
Well, I think it's a great point, and Madam Chair, through you to Kevin, I think that any town administrator worth their salt is going to want to get as much out there as they can. It eliminates for me as a town administrator, it eliminates the people that are questioning everything you do, coming at you with allegations and accusations. If you're transparent, the more transparency you have out there as a town administrator, I think more and more of us in this role are realizing that the more information you give people, the better, and the more data you can put in their hands. And I'll give you an example. When we did the override in North Attleboro, I think one of the things that people came back to us and said a lot was, you folks were extremely transparent. We went out to the community and we met with people. So I think people appreciate that. And I think if you're not in that mindset, you shouldn't be in the chair. And that's one of the things that you're going to be doing the final screening of the last candidates. So I think that's something that you have to have a conversation with them about as well and get the feel for how they feel about that. But I think it's a great opportunity for us because we can then meet during the day, we can communicate one-on-one, we can do a whole bunch of different things that a subcommittee of the select board wouldn't be able to do because they'd have to post the meetings, they can't talk to each other offline, those kinds of things. It makes it a little more difficult, as opposed to it being a advisory group to the town administrator. There's a lot more latitude.
Yeah, and technically, our town administrator's office should have a communications arm, but obviously we know we don't have that, and we don't have the finances for that. So, in a
But this advisory group
normal
could actually
scenario.
become that.
Well, that's what I
Yes.
mean.
Yeah.
With volunteers, which is great. Yeah, I'm for however we're going to get the information out there, because that's the biggest complaint that I hear is this, we don't
Yeah,
get information, we don't know what's happening in town.
I can tell you from conversations I had an interesting conversation with the people that provide our website for us now. And apparently the way our website is currently structured, we can post things on the website and push them to Facebook. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but that's only a small portion of the people. What about
Right.
Twitter? What about Instagram? What about? Well, apparently they're making changes to their structure to allow for information flow to all of those other platforms that are out there. So that's one of the things that we're pushing for, and one of the things I'm having a conversation with our IT director about. We need to be able to put it in one place. You want one version of the truth. So that one version of the truth is on your website, and then that website then pushes it to everybody else. And that way you can control your information flow and you can get it out to as many means and methods as you can. Now, there's going to be certain people that aren't going to be on there. They're not going to be on social media. So
25% of the
there's-
population in Norfolk, the seniors.
So there's email. There's snail mail is a problem because now
Because of the
you're
expense.
of the expense, and trying to get it there in a timely fashion is very difficult. But if we can work something out where
One member of the advisory board could go to the senior center once a month or council on aging and just give an overview of all the, summarizing all the communications.
which is why I would love a representative from that group as part of that communications team, if you will, so that we can get information out and have them carry it.
Excellent.
Maybe we can get someone that does the monthly newsletter
Yeah.
for the senior center.
Yep.
Yes, and they definitely, because they connected by email for that working meeting that we had, and there were 30 people there.
There was-
So they absolutely have an email connection with each other, and if we could get information out to folks using that, that would be great. We do have a couple of people in town. Birch Duggan's Wharf has a newsletter about the school committee that gives a nice update, and there's a gentleman, John Griffin, who does a What's Up Norfolk on the Facebook page, so those, maybe we could recruit some of the things that are already happening that are good, that are out there, that we can wrap them in, so we can maybe recruit. And of course, the lovely Johnny Jones is so knowledgeable in having those connections with so many people in town, so I think that I'm excited about this, and I think it's a good avenue to take. And to your point, I think we could monitor and check in with that committee after the new town administrator's been hired and just make sure it feels, because we could always roll it over and make it a select board committee if we didn't feel it was working. Like, we could scoop it up and make it our committee if this model isn't effective.
It's a great point. You always have that ability.
Right, so we will just monitor it, but I'm excited about that as a possibility. We don't need to do anything.
Do we need to vote on that? No.
No?
Okay.
No?
Now,
Let me do my job.
there's a matter of the 115 Park Street. Can we put that on the agenda for the next selectment meeting in the executive session?
Park Street. We can have that discussion,
Okay.
about how we're going to handle all of that. And maybe it's time for an update from council.
Excellent.
Madam Chair, the next item that I wanted to just update everybody on is the energy aggregation. We got our report this week regarding our energy aggregation program. I was I actually had a great time reading this today. I was sitting here looking at 12 and a half cents per kilowatt hour and salivating over that amount. But I also looked at the numbers that we were given as far as what the savings were for the town. The majority of the savings is it was on the residential side that you'll see in this particular slide. So it's residential and commercial. If you go up one more, slide the other way. Next one, there you go. So there's residential and commercial. The majority of the savings was certainly on the residential side at $21,000 just for the month of June.
Wow.
Which I think is phenomenal. And you have to, keeping in mind that June was a hot month.
Yeah.
I know that my electric bill for June was pretty significant because of my air conditioning running continuously. So that being said, that's why you're seeing such a high degree of savings there. But I think all in all, it's a great program. I think the folks in the town are actually, they're sub 13 cents a kilowatt hour is a really, really good rate. And I think that this is definitely a win for the community and definitely a positive item that I wanted to just bring to everybody's attention. And, if anybody, I don't know how the process works for opting in or whatever. I know it's an opt-out program, so you're in it unless you opt out. But certainly, from what I've seen, that's a phenomenal rate.
Yes, check, if you are opted out, you should check your rate, and you can opt in. You absolutely can opt in. So check your rate if you are not in the program already.
And this is for municipal building use or all residential?
No, this is residential. This is for all the residents, we do an aggregation, so it's a contract between the town and the energy supplier.
Okay.
And we then offer that rate to the folks that live in the town,
So
yeah.
everybody was automatically rolled into the new rate unless they were on
Unless they're already in their own plan.
already in their own plan.
Right, then they couldn't. So I'm actually running into that in my town because we just offered this energy aggregation. So the town of Weymouth is way behind Norfolk. So congratulations for being out there.
Oh, we get the gold star for
You
that
get the
one.
gold star for that one. I'm unfortunately, I shop my rates all the time, so I'm already in a plan and I can't get out without a penalty, so I'm stuck for a little bit.
For a little while.
Yeah. But
So
it's,
we shop our rates too, but I'm not sure we're locked into our plan, so we'll have to compare and see what we're paying right now. Because as soon as those numbers match up, we'll opt into this as well.
Solar is the way to go, though. Let
Solar is
sun
the way, yeah.
Generate your electricity.
All right.
Yeah, we have solar, so.
Yeah.
Do you have any other updates, Mike? I do have one item I'd like to talk about.
I have one more, and I just wanted to let the board know that we are in the middle of a investigation from the State Ethics Commission on a couple of things in the town. I can't go into detail on what's going on, but suffice to say that I've been in contact with the State Ethics Commission on a daily basis about certain things that are going on in the town, and I just want to bring the board up to speed. At some point, we'll probably meet in executive session to have a discussion about what's going on there. But at this point in time, I just want you to be aware that that's going on. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Thank you. You had
Yeah,
updates?
I mean, I can say I am aware. I didn't know, I don't know the extent of where the claims have gone or what the investigations are, but I am aware of multiple complaints and, we'll let the process play out and hope that, we're cleared, but it's obviously concerning. And I appreciate you, letting the public know, because I think it's important to be
Absolutely.
transparent.
Absolutely.
Obviously, without going into detail, we can't do that. We can't disclose names because these are investigations. These are accusations at this point. But they're out there. So I believe in transparency. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Thank you. Do you have any updates?
No.
So I just had a couple. You know that I do. First of all, whenever you talk to people about Norfolk and they say, we need more business, we need more business. Well, on September 27th, there's a Discovery Day on Town Hill. It begins at 3 o'clock on Town Hill, where you have an opportunity to meet the businesses we do have in town. And part of having more business is keeping the businesses we have in business. Is that too many businesses? But I encourage you to check out Discovery Day, and I want to continue to remind you that let's give our business to our business. So here in town. So the other thing I wanted to let the PIP group of Southwood know that through the diligence of Amanda and the magic that is Andrew back there, we have modified the state of the town address to make sure that it doesn't misstate about cleanup beginning on Southwood, and because they are still in the assessment stage, so that change has been made. Thank you to Amanda and to Andrew. And then as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, we're starting our Norfolk Citizens Academy this Thursday, and we have officially adopted 23 or accepted 23 people into the program, and they'll be attending. We will be videotaping it for people, but what we really would like is for your questions to also be answered, even though you're not in the academy, your questions to be answered at these sessions. So if you go to the town website and you click on the button that says Your Government at Work, you can see in there a link to a place where you could submit questions about your government, and whether it's about the fire station or about the tax rate, or whether it's about town government or about something that we're doing here. We would like to know what your questions are so that we can be sure to answer them throughout our Citizens Academy. And so that will be live. We'll keep it live throughout from here till December, January, oh, maybe till January. Yeah, we'll keep it live through January. Please send in your questions so we can be sure, give our department heads notice so that they can be prepared to answer those questions at our sessions. And then also you can use that same link. We have to give our lovely NCTV a little bit of time, but we'll post the videos of our sessions at that same link there. Again, you go to the town website, you click on your government at work, and then you'll see in there it'll have the handouts, and it will have the video link to our sessions that are happening. So thank you for your participation, whether it's active from our academy members or whether it's more passive from your living room at home. We're grateful. We're grateful for your participation. And then the last thing, Mike hinted at a little bit, but we need to go outside. It's going to snow soon, and it's so beautiful. So just a reminder that part of our general happiness is being outside and feeling the sun on our face and the wind in our hair. And so let's go outside together. We have so many beautiful places here in Norfolk to walk, whether it's Lynn Farm or Fales Park. There's so many beautiful places to be here just right in our own community. So let's take advantage of those things. And those are all of my updates.
And the last farmer's market's this Wednesday, if anyone's around, so get to the farmer's market.
Awesome.
On Town Hill. So I just had one question or item for discussion with regards to the appointments, the liaisons with the different departments. So we were appointed to various departments, and I just had a question around, like, how often should we be engaging with those groups? Should we be initiating the communication? Should we plan to attend one of their meetings? How has it worked in the past? And, what's the process for that?
I think it's up to you, but yes, I think you should go to at least, I went to some of the meetings I was liaison to and said I'm liaison if you have any questions. I went to see how their process went, but also let them know if they had any questions, they could reach out to me.
Okay.
Excellent. And I would agree with that. Sometimes we've done that really well, and other times time is the enemy. And but I think we have to initiate that communication, and attending a meeting is a good way to do that. But I understand that capacity is. I think I'm in here almost as much as Amanda these days. So there is a capacity piece too that is realistic. So, but ideally, you would go to at least one meeting and make that connection.
Okay. And then the second question is, so I was appointed to the Master Plan Implementation Committee group, whatever we want to call it. But is there an actual implementation group? Do they have to reorganize? Because they had a group that, was working on the plan itself, but who is actually leading the implementation? Is that the planning board, or have we not even gotten that far yet?
That's a great question.
Well, we talked about that today in our meeting. I'll speak to it and then you jump in if I'm
Sure.
misspeaking. So I think we talked about I think the planning board initiated I think the planning board is moving this process forward. I think they're responsible, but we felt like we should do it in partnership with the select board. So I think what we talked about is having a master plan implementation group that was sort of a liaison between the two boards and making sure, first of all, making sure that that work was getting done, but then also reporting back here. But I talked to Mr. Gallagher today in our meeting, and we were like, okay, we've got the steering committee, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this. And maybe that's something, creating that group might be something that might be better initiated in a couple months when some of the dust has settled and we have our town meeting behind us. And so we thought maybe we should wait just a tiny bit. And I'm assuming that the planning board is moving that work forward because it was their initiative.
Well, can we have someone from the planning board come and give a readout on what the latest status is on the master plan? Because it would be helpful for me to know.
Maybe we could put it in the agenda for the next selectmen's meeting, invite someone
Yes.
from the
Select
planning
board
board.
meeting.
Yeah, select board.
Yeah,
meeting.
before we get too far ahead of ourselves and like start another group committee.
Yes.
Can we just hear from them about, what they're doing?
Excellent. I think that's a good idea. And I have asked Mr. Gallagher to invite Mr. McCarthy to come to a meeting to just give us a broad strokes overview of what are the projects that are going on in town. This is sort of parallel to the master plan or maybe a little bit in conjunction with the master plan, but just so we have a sense of what's happening in town, because we haven't had an update for a while. And I think actually our last update, we met one-on-one in Justin's office. It wasn't in front of the camera. So we did talk about having him come to one of the next meetings to just give over, this is what's going on in town in
Yeah.
terms of building.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Madam Chair, through you, there may be an opportunity to have that discussion as well about the master plan
Yeah.
and how all of this.
Put it together. I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, I will reach out to Rich. Perhaps the chair of the planning board would like to attend with him.
Excellent. Is that it for updates? Discussion?
All I have.
Okay, and then the warrants. I would accept a motion to approve the warrants as listed in the agenda.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the minutes, I'll let you.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for August 11th, 2025.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then I don't see in my packet the language to move to executive session.
So, okay, Madam Chair, I can
Is it-
help you through that. It should be there, but it's okay. We can get through this. So, Madam Chair, I would recommend that you go into executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, interim town administrator Michael H. Gallagher, and that you will not return to open session, but will be adjourning directly from executive session.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call vote. Anita Mecklenburg, aye.
Kevin Roach, aye.
Thais Hickman, aye.
Excellent. And so we're going to kick you out, Donna. Thank you very much.
Now in executive session.
And we're now in executive session. Thank you, Andrew.